Hello Flosstube, this is Nicole. Welcome back to my channel. This is Flosstube number 5 today. So this is actually take 2. I recorded this, I uploaded it, and I don't know what happened. The words and the video weren't lining up. I have no idea. So if you caught that version of the video, I am sorry, because I uploaded it, but I didn't put it live, but somehow some people were able to watch it. I don't know how. But regardless, we're going to try this again. So welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I am so excited that you are spending some time with me. If you have been here for a while, if you have followed my card making and videos and journey and all of that, welcome back to you guys as well. I'm so grateful for all of you. Let's see. It's hard to think of what I said in my first video. I guess a little recap. So since I am having to refilm this on Monday, I didn't get this up when I thought I was going to. Usually this is my Flosstube videos will be on Sunday mornings, and I was late, and so I posted that it would be late on my community page, not realizing that it had so many mistakes in it. Saturday, I spent most of the day with my oldest son. We had some stuff to do. I helped him build a table and the chairs that he got for his apartment, and then we ran some errands. The week before, we did go see Top Gun Maverick. The boys and I loved it. That my 2 sons took me. So grateful for them. Take their mama out. And then yesterday, Sunday, the day this was supposed to go up, I couldn't re-record this. I had recorded it early in the day, and it just, because these videos are a little longer, for whatever reason, it takes a little bit to get this uploaded to YouTube, and then I have to do all the editing and things. And I didn't notice that it wasn't lining up, and so I messed around with it for probably an hour and a half, thinking that it was something to do with the upload version, and it wasn't. But by the time I realized that I would have to re-record everything, we were having family dinner, and I was in charge of all the sides, and so I was like, well, it's gonna be too late, because we did family dinner kind of late. My daughter worked Sunday, and so we had it when she got off of work, and because of that, it was just too late to record. So I am sorry that this is coming to you late. Technology, isn't it wonderful? So I guess with that being said, that's kind of a recap. Today I have a lot of stitching. I did tons and tons of stitching this week. I did not do that much quilting. I'm really hoping to get a lot of quilting done this week, because I have so many things to share with you guys, and so many things I need to get done. So hopefully we'll get a little more quilting done this week. I have a lot of card making things to do, a lot of videos to edit this week for work. So I have that as well. So this last week, tons of stitching. I could not stop stitching. So I did a lot of stitching. I do have a couple of finishes. My pillow finishing tutorial will be up this week. It's delayed even more since I'm having to re-record this, but I am going to show you those finishes today. So I have 3 pillow finishes. I have, let me see, lots of stitching, a couple of quilt blocks, and then I have giveaway winners. I'm not going to do a giveaway today. I did not get it prepped and planned, and even though I'm re-recording this, I didn't prep any. I will have a giveaway this coming Sunday, so definitely stay tuned for that. Okay, without further ado, we're going to jump into Q&A. I don't have a ton this week, so let's get started. All right, Q&A. Jeannie, do I make ornaments for my grandchildren every year out of felt, sequins, etc.? But I thought watching this video how fun it would be to cross stitch one for each of them and add a little variance to their collection. Do you happen to have any ideas where I can find some cute and fairly large stitching for ornaments? I would say stitching with the housewives. I think a lot of theirs, they turn into ornaments. I feel like Prairie Schooler has Santas that a lot of people really love. I've not personally stitched those. And then my other suggestion is, even if you find like a big chart, but it has like certain motifs, let's say, you know, Santa or snowman or whatever the case may be, you can just stitch a portion of that into an ornament. I know a lot of people do that as well. That's something I probably personally would do. If there was a big chart and there was a little section that I thought was really cute for an ornament, I think that would be fun. Sleepless for way too long. Would you consider doing a stitch along with those of us interested? I think it would be fun. I think it would be fun too. Actually, in the comments and things, maybe let me know what you guys are thinking. I know for sure July is out for me and September is out for me. Those are my two. July, I'm going to be stitching along with Jolly July as part of Fat Quarter Shop, and I'm going to go over my plans for that with you guys today. And in September, my work schedule is nuts, so I am not going to put myself in any more things for that, just because it's Stamptember for all my card making friends. You guys know that. So my focus will be on that in September, but I definitely would be interested in doing a stitch along. So I'll kind of see maybe what I could come up with and see what you guys are interested in, and maybe we can do something fun. I would say either like August, October, sometime in there, something before holiday season. Liz Johnson, how would you attach finished cross stitch to cardstock for either a card or a tag? I personally don't do that, and I've never done that, but I think if I was going to, I would likely, if it's cross stitch on cross stitch fabric, I would probably mount it to sticky board or something first and then adhere it to the card. If you have cross stitched on paper, I would say foam adhesive maybe, or another strong adhesive. Scrap and Fox 214, do you think hive rules would be okay for a beginner? I absolutely do. It is a long chart, but it is a very easy stitch. It's all DMC. I'm using all the called for DMC for mine. You could even just stitch little portions of it if you don't want to do the whole chart, but I absolutely think it would be good for a beginner. Simone says, I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about the in-hand technique. Yes. In fact, I think I'm just going to completely record a separate video for that, because I've had a lot of questions about it, and I think it would be easier to show that. I'm actually not going to do overhead today, but I think I'll just film that in a separate video. And there's another question here that I think goes along with that, which I'll get to in a minute. So yes, I will film a little how-to tutorial soon. I will try to get that done here before July 1st. Nancy says, I'm confused about the planning stuff and what are WIPs. Planning is something you absolutely do not need to do. That is for me personally, because so much my work life and then my hobbies are basically all crafting related. Not basically, they are. I find it easier to plan. I'm a planner, and it just helps keep me on track. You do not need to plan in order to cross stitch or quilt or any of those things. For me, because I have a lot of ongoing projects, it just kind of helps keep me organized and motivated, and lets me know what I have, what I'm working on. And that's just how my brain works. If you don't want to do that, you absolutely do not have to. It just helps keep me organized. WIPs are works in progress, and that is something that I think cross stitchers, quilters, all use that. Other crafts may use it as well. It basically just refers to the projects and works that you have in progress. So that's, a lot of people will refer to it as that. And so that is what I do as well. Let's see. Amy says, can you please explain 2/2 and 1/1? This is the question that I think is going to go very good along with the stitch in hand. I can show the two things. 2/2 means if you are stitching a linen, a Lugana, and you are it's not like an Ada. So an Ada has it has a lot of little squares, but you're stitching one little square. You're going from hole to hole and creating your stitch. When you're using a linen or a Lugana, you are generally stitching 2/2. At least that's what I do. I've not personally done 1/1, although I know there are some charts that are a lot of 2/2 and may have a little section that's 1/1. 2/2 means 2 threads over 2 squares. So you're kind of skipping a square, if that makes sense. And I will show that in the video as well. If you're doing 1/1, you're using 1 thread and going over 1 square. It's going to be a little teeny tiny stitch. And I will do an example of that when I do that tutorial, because I've gotten that question a couple times too. I did not write who said this. It's a comment, not a question, but I thought it was a great one and I wanted to address it. It said, thank you for your input. I must have answered a question. You put a lot of time into all of us crafters. Thank you, and be careful not to get burned out. Yes, burnout is a real thing. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that. And part of the reason I started Flosstube, and part of the reason that I shared in my last Flosstube video, that for me, because a lot of people said, when do you sleep? And I addressed that in the last video. Card making is my full-time job. So I very much, even though it's a hobby, turned into a job, and it is my full-time job. I look at it as I would, let's say I was going to the office. So when I am home, and I have home time, I find it important to find something else to do. And part of the burnout is when you do have a job that you work from home, and this goes for any kind of job you work at home, it's a little hard to turn it off. And I've had that so many times in the past where I just didn't. I could make cards from the minute I get up to the minute I go to bed, and I have. And the burnout is real. Like, where I don't want to come in here, I don't want to see another piece of paper, I don't want to see another stamp. And so I was really, probably about 1.5 years ago, it's happened periodically over the course of the last few years as this was my job, because it is hard to turn that off. It is hard to step away when it's always here, it's always in your house. And about 1.5 years ago, I was like, I have to do something, or I am not going to want to look at another stamp ever again. And I made a conscious effort to find something else to do. And for me, I know I said this in my last video, I am crafty and I am creative. And so for me, it was natural to try to find another craft or hobby like that to do. And so it has helped with the burnout. I find that I am able to sustain like my work schedule, but I'm also able to turn that off and walk away from my job. And I can do something else in the evening. And it has been so good for me, you guys, especially the cross stitching, because because I can do that with my family. Ethan and I watch movies together or whatever, and so I can sit and stitch. I don't sit very well. I think I mentioned that before. And so it's hard for me to just sit and do nothing and watch TV. I've never been good at that. It's just not my thing. I didn't grow up watching a lot of TV or anything. And so actually I grew up in a rural community. My dad farmed. We had 3 main channels, and that was it. So I did not grow up watching, Cartoon Network or whatever the thing the kids watch these days, Disney Channel, nothing. So watching TV wasn't a thing for me. And I've always been very creative and always, colored. And like I said, my mom taught me to cross stitch when I was little, and my grandma taught me to sew, and, just things like that. I mowed and did my chores and learned to cook and whatever. So, yeah, this is my way of not getting burnt out and sharing with you guys things that I love. So that's my long-winded response to that. I thought it was a great comment, and I just wanted to address it for anyone working at home. So many of you guys have told me that you have found cross stitch again too after like 20 years or 30 years, which was me as well. It was about 18 to 20 years. And I was like, that is so good, because and you guys have said it's so relaxing. It is relaxing. And just a few stitches every day or every few days, whenever you can, you end up with a finished project and it is so rewarding. But I find it is relaxing and calming about an hour to, an hour and a half or two, or if the baseball game is on, my team is terrible this year, so sometimes I get mad and turn it off. But it's so relaxing to me, and it's a great way to finish out the day. Okay, Danielle says, what do you do with your project patterns when you're done making the project? Do you keep them or put them somewhere? And of course, since I'm re-recording this, I forgot to get it out. 1 second. Okay, so my long answer, I tried not to be long. I have a lot of PDFs. And with the PDFs, when I purchase a PDF cross-stitch chart, I do print it out. If I just leave it on and I do this with quilting PDFs as well. If I leave it on my computer, I forget I have it. Or I don't I do better with physical. That's why I have a physical planner. I just do better if I handwrite things or whatever. So I print it out. Now, if I'm going to kit it up right away, which we've talked about kitting up before, I print it out, I put it in my zipper pouch, put all my floss, put my fabric pattern, I'm good. And then I stitch it. When I'm done stitching a PDF chart, I generally shred it and it's on my computer. If I ever need it again, I can always print it out again. More than likely, I probably won't stitch most of those again, but I have it. Paper charts, which some companies just have paper charts, or I've purchased something that in the paper chart form. If I have a paper chart, and even PDFs that I'm not going to stitch right away, I keep it in an 8.5 by 11 binder. This is a binder from Target. I have 7 of these. This is the 7th. I've got 5 that are filled with cross-stitch quilting patterns. And then I've got 1 that is like ongoing quilting things that I'm working on. I kind of use it as my working binder. And then this is my cross stitch binder. And I have it divided by company. It is not very full. I think I got rid of a lot of things. So I'll give you an example. Here's a Cherry Hill Stitchery. I do have it divided by company. This was a PDF that I printed out and I stuck in this section. Then I will show you, here is my Shannon Christine for paper patterns. If you purchase hers directly from her website, you can get a PDF, which I might do. So I actually might offer this as a giveaway. I have a few. I know I offered one of them because I actually bought the PDF version. That's why I gave that away last week, or I'll be announcing the winner this week. But I also keep my paper patterns in here. So I keep them all in here, and that way I can just look through here if I'm looking for a certain pattern. So this is how I keep them. I hope that answers that. Cynthia says, when do you put your binding on your quilt after it's been quilted? After you've pieced it, after it's been your quilt, your batting, and your backing, you have it quilted, then you put your binding on. Beatrice says, can you share the link for the rings you got from Amazon to put your floss on? There are so many to choose from. Yes, I can. I gave her the link, but I will put it down here too in case any of you guys are wondering. I buy those little jump rings that you can put your fancy floss on, or floss drops, or even the little bobbins. And it makes it super easy to keep organized. And that is all my questions for this week. Let's get to cross stitch FFO'S, which are finally finished objects. I'll try to make sure and let you guys know in case some of you don't. Let me get my question page out of the way. Okay. And sorry, I had to answer a text. This is why I don't want to record these on Monday morning when my son has questions for me. FFO'S. So I finally got my pillow finishing tutorial filmed. I'm editing it. It'll be up this week, but here is one of the pillows. This is the summer home pillow that I did. This is a fat quarter shop stitch. I turned it into a little hidden zipper pillow cover, and then I made the pillow insert, and I will be sharing this step by step in the video. This is cute little pillow is going to adorn my office. I'm either going to put it up high on my top of my Billy bookshelves, or I might get a tiered tray to put in here just to decorate a little bit. But it's cute. I think it's about, I want to say 7.5 inches. I have the exact measurements somewhere in here in my binder, which all of that will be in the video tutorial. So super cute. I love how it turned out. Really, really fun. My other covered zipper tutorial pillow is this cute little Welcome to Our Hive pillow. This is the bonus chart from the Hive Rules, which I'm stitching that long chart. This is the bonus chart that comes in it. I showed you guys this. I needed another full finish. These were my 2 full finishes for Stitch Mania, and I love this little guy. Is so cute. I love the little oblong shape. I'm planning on, after all of my patriotic stuff is down, I'm going to do bumblebees or little bumblebee display. And so this is one of the little pillows. I'm going to stitch a few of these smaller Primrose Cottage charts and probably turn them all into pillows. You will also notice I don't do a ton of adding like bows or things like that to my pillows, or at least I haven't really so far. I like mine just a little bit plainer, so that's kind of what I did here. And again, I will be showing this in the video tutorial. These were both finished exactly the same. I just really wanted to show you 2 different sizes. This just means that I can remove my pillow insert and whatever. If I wanted to, I could totally change both of these finishes sometime. And it's finished just like this. I showed you the bats and boos last week, so. Okay, so Ethan came home and I had to say hi to him. So yeah, here are my recent pillow finishes. So these are all hidden zipper finishes. My last FFO from this last week is another pillow, but it's not a zipper pillow. I just did like a little stitch here to close it along the bottom. I know a lot of people like cut a little slit here and flip it inside out and then cover that. I haven't tried that yet, really. I thought this worked just fine. It's not probably my bestest work, but it'll be fine. I actually tuck this into a little truck. So this is the Primrose Cottage Land That I Love. It's a little 3.5 inch square pillow. I'm going to do my other 2 just like this, but I have this sitting on a shelf in my kitchen, kind of like that. And then I have like this little star. So it's just in this little truck. Isn't it cute? I really love this. This little star actually was from a banner, I believe, from Home Goods. There was a whole bunch of them. I liked them because they were fabric. I didn't want to make my own, and I just cut them apart. And they've made really cute decorations. So I need to share some photos of my patriotic decorations. So that is my 3rd and final complete FFO finish for the week. Next up, cross stitch finishes. So it's actually a start and a finish. I have 2 starts, so I probably will do kind of starts and finishes right now. So that Primrose Cottage pattern I just shared with you. I started and finished established in 1776. So you'll notice these are all the same. They all take 4 colors of DMC floss. I am stitched all of them on 25 count mushroom Lugana. And the kind of mushroomy color, tan color of the fabric is perfect because the white really pops on that. So this is the pattern. And here is my finish. And I'm going to turn this into a little pillow just like that as well. So I'll have 3 of them I can use to decorate. Super quick, super easy. I really, really love these. And I'm going to film a little video for how I finish these and I will post that as well. So these two pillows I'm actually going to film a video when I finish them. So that was my start finish for this week, and that's the only full finish or stitching finish I have. And since we're on it, I'm going to just show my other new start this week, which was United We Stand. This is the third patriotic little postage stitch from Primrose Cottage. And what's funny is I was at a different point when I originally filmed this video, and then I stitched a little bit more last night after my family, all my kids and stuff left. So I mean, I hardly have anything left. I have the rest of the border and then the word stand. That's it. So I have a little red and a little navy left. I stitched all of the rest of the white, or I stitched all of the white yesterday evening before I went to bed. So that is my other new start, which will be a finish for next week. Those are really fun though. Let's get on to WIPS, works in progress. So I mentioned early in the video that I did a ton of stitching this week. So much stitching. My first WIP is the Heartfelt Stitch Along from Fat Quarter Shop. This is a free stitch along. They only ask for a donation for Make-A-Wish for use of the chart. A new part of the chart comes out each month. I think the last part will come out August. I have it written down somewhere in here. So I'm a little bit behind, but I did make fantastic progress this week. I got done what I wanted to get done, which is awesome. So I know I mentioned this, I've mentioned this before. You can see the colors in the chart. I actually had started stitching it that way, and the reason I'm so far behind is I decided I didn't want to stitch it with those colors. I am doing patriotic, and so here is my stitching. I'm using 5 colors of floss, and I just picked floss that I had in my stash, a combination of DMC and Aurifloss. I do have the colors I'm using listed below, so that if you want to copy that, or you want some inspiration for doing something different, don't be afraid to do this in any color combination. I think it would be really cool in fall colors, Halloween colors, Christmas colors, Valentine, maybe more Valentine's-y than this. Honestly, I think it's the green I don't like in this. I thought about just doing pink, red, and gray, but I think you could do this in so many different colors. Or rainbow, wouldn't rainbow be cute? I am stitching this. This is 14 count Ada. This is called Pale Gray Gingham by Fabric Flair, isn't it? Yes. I love this fabric. I'm going to be stitching the Stitching with the Housewives month-to-month series on this same fabric. So I finished this entire second row. I've had a couple of requests about what color I'm stitching for what motif, and I did the whole first row. It's listed down in the description, and I will continue to do that while I share this project. So today I will have what colors I used. I'll have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it will say what colors I used for each of those. I'm stitching this heart that's in both rows, this one and this one. They're exactly the same, and anytime that heart's used, I'm going to stitch it the same because I'm not using as many colors as what the chart calls for. But I love it. I'm going to turn mine into a pillow. It's going to match my flag quilt. The colors match my flag quilt. All right. Let's make sure I put everything back in the bag so I can find it when I'm looking for it. My next WIP is Halloween Rules by Lizzie Kate. Here is it's a bunch of small charts that you can stitch together. The top part here and the border and the directions for how to turn that into a border are found on Lizzie Kate. That also is listed in the supplies. I linked it in the description below. If you're interested, I know I've heard from a couple of you who also started stitching it, which I'm so excited about. Thank you to my friend Cassie for sharing her charts with me. And here is where I am at on this. So I want to talk about a couple things. I finished the entire top part and I started the first chart. I made a mistake up here. And I know somebody said commented last week that they had to kind of fudge a bunch of stuff on something they were stitching. You guys, it happens. So I got to, like, I think I showed you last week I had like this. I did. I think I had like all of Halloween and the tree and the jack-o'-lantern. So this week I did like the moon and the tombstones, and I stitched this brown line over here, and then I started over here, and it wasn't coming out because I started where I was supposed to start here, and I was like, what in the world? I counted and counted and counted and counted, and I finally realized my mistake was right here. Well, that was a really long time ago, because since I stitched that, I had stitched all of this. And I was like, I'm not ripping it out. I'm not ripping it out and starting over. So I don't think you can really tell. I will tell you the mistake. I want to be transparent with you guys here. So this was actually one row closer to the moon is one row closer to this than it's supposed to be, because I'm missing a stitch in here. So it really should have been shifted down somewhere here. I just adjusted it in my stitching here. I think I had to take out one stitch to have this line up correctly. It's not going to ruin anything. So don't be afraid to kind of fudge it a little bit. I will rip things out if I have to, but I didn't feel like I needed to rip it out. I love stitching this. I'm stitching on 25 count mushroom Lugana. I'm using all the called for floss, and I'm stitching 2 over 2. It is a fun one. I am loving it. Really excited. Oh, hold up. My needle got... What do you think's going on here? Oh, of course. I hope this is my needle for this. I don't think it is. I think this was my needle for my first project. Let's just put it there. Okay, my next whip, Hive Rules. I know I've told you this many times. I love this Hive Rules chart from Primrose Cottage. I just showed you the bonus chart, the little mini pillow. I stitched a ton of this. I hardly have, all I have left for this week is the little banner and Beloved and anything down here. So just kind of basically this section. I should be done with it this week. That's my big goal for this week, is to have this done. So, whoops, that's my extra fabric for the other chart. Let me put that back. And here is what I've got so far. And of course I have a needle. I have needles stuck in all of my fabric. I'll back up a little bit so you can see. So here is what I've got. So from last week, I had the beehives in kind. So anything from this little border down is what I stitched this week. So the Believe in Yourself and Others with the beehive and the border. So cute, you guys. I love this chart, and you can see there's not very much room left, so I'm about done with this one. I should have this as a finish next week. I'm excited. Let me put my needle back in here. It is a great one. I'm so excited to see everybody who also is stitching along with Hive Rules. And my final whip is the Bonnie and Camille Quilt Bee. And I'm going to show you. You do have to get the book, the quilt book for this, which I know I've told you guys how much I love Bonnie and Camille. Here is the quilt pattern. I think it's on the screen. Yeah. So this is what I am stitching. I started, this is the first, I believe this was the first new start a little over a year ago when I picked cross stitch back up. I kind of picked up some old whips I had, but then I wanted something new, and so this is what I got. And I know I mentioned this when I was talking about this a couple weeks ago as a whip, when I pulled this back out and was organizing my whips, that I thought this was a different size fabric. This is actually 25 count Lugana, which I should have known. I think it's antique white, but the exact color is listed in the description below. I'll look it up here after when I'm editing and stuff. But I had like all of this done, and this week I stitched this bumblebee and I started the house right here. This is a lot. It's full coverage. That's a lot of little stitches, but so cute. I have really made good progress on this. I'm probably about half done, maybe almost half. And I want to frame this for my craft room. I really love this. I had forgotten how much I love it. I'm kind of sad I set it down for so long, but I'm back stitching it now. So I'm going to try to put a few stitches in it each week. A little progress every week. So that is my last WIP for today. Let me just put these back in here. I have a whole basket of my bags. And that is my WIPs. I've already done my new starts. So next we're going to talk about July plans. So for July, I just wanted to kind of share now what I'm planning on doing in case anybody else is interested. I am going to stitch along with my version of Jolly July with Fat Quarter Shop, or Christmas in July, whatever you want to call it. And for that, Fat Quarter Shop has calendars that you can download and fill in. I size mine for happy planner size, and then I use their punch to punch it so I can stick it in my planner. You'll see that I have filled mine out with what I think I'm going to stitch. Their Jolly July, I believe, Odin is squeaking his toy. Ethan gave him a new toy when he got home. Their Christmas in July, I think they started with stitching ornaments throughout July. It was something that Fat Quarter Shop did with stitching with the housewives. I'm going to do my version. My version is, I've got several Christmas charts I want to stitch, and I picked 5 projects for July that I'm going to work on. There will be more holiday projects probably closer to the holiday season that I want to do, but I want to work on 5 main projects right now for Christmas in July. And so that's how I filled out my chart. The first project I'm going to share with you is Fat Quarter Shop has a mystery stitch along called Letters to Santa. This is a paid for chart. It's a lot like the summer home, for example, which you paid for, and then each Friday they released a new part of the chart. So by the end of July, I should have a finish for that. And I'm doing kind of what I did for Stitch Mania, where on Fridays, that is what I'm going to stitch. And so that's what I've listed on Fridays. And I put release 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This just keeps me organized. Again, this is just my version of planning and how I plan on the things I want to make. And then I'm going to show you the rest of my projects. I bought the floss pack. I think I have fabric, or I bought fabric. Can't remember. I have that stuff coming. It's not here yet. I don't even know if they've shipped it yet. Okay, so of course, I love when I put things away and then it's not all back out. Let me grab all my Christmas, the 5 Christmas projects that I'm working on. Okay, so I showed you the Letters to Santa. The next Christmas project I'm planning for Christmas in July is Stitching with the Housewives Jingle Bell Cafe. I bought this immediately when it came out. I will tell you, this will be my first Stitching with the Housewives project. I love their stuff, but I actually haven't stitched anything yet. This is going to be the first one. So I have my chart in here. I did buy the PDF version, so I printed that out. I've got my classic Colorworks floss already on a ring, ready to go. And I'm going to stitch on chalkboard black Ada. This is left over. I think it's left over from all the trimmings, mystery stitch along from last year, but I'm going to stitch it on black. I'm super excited about that. And I have that scheduled to stitch on Saturdays all through July, and just get as much done as I possibly can. I hope I get that one done too. We shall see. Next up, I have the Little House Needleworks, which I've never stitched one of their patterns either, but I've had this forever, you guys. This is Rudolph's Sampler. There we go. Maybe it's not quite so glary. I love this. I love stitching text. So I am going to be doing Rudolph's Sampler. And like I said, I've had this forever. I kind of forgot I'd kitted this all up. This is 32 count Lugana cloth in the color Platinum, which is super pretty. This is way bigger. I need to prep this. I will be prepping all of this stuff prior to July 1st. And then I've already got all my floss. They're still even in this bag. I haven't even taken it out. And that is going to be the project I work on Sundays. So that's right here. And I'm just going to get as far as I can, and then I can obviously keep stitching on it afterwards if I don't get very far. That is my third project for Christmas in July, or Jolly July. Next up, I have the Cherry Hill Stitchery Have a Cup of Cheer. This is a small stitch. I really think this one will likely get done as well. It is, I think it would be super cute for my hot cocoa bar in my basement. That's what I'm planning on, or where I'm planning on placing this. It's a lot of text again. I have not prepared my fabric for this. So I have my pattern and I have a bag with floss. I think I'm probably going to use 25 count mushroom Lugana, or I'll use that 32 count platinum Lugana maybe from the Little House Needleworks. Something like, I want the white stitching to show up on it. So it's going to be something along those lines. That is my fourth Christmas in July project. And then my fifth, thank you Cassie again. She shared with me her Lizzie Kate Christmas rules charts. And again, just like the Halloween rules, you download the free header and the border. Well, this one doesn't have a border. The header for this one, and then you stitch it like that, which I did already print this out. I've already prepped my fabric. This is going to be on 25 count mushroom Lugana. I already have it ready. I already zigzagged the edges. And then I have all the called for colors. I have not put them on the ring, but I will. So I'm going to start Christmas rules. I know that one won't get done in July, but I'm hoping by starting it in July that I will get far enough that I can finish it hopefully before Christmas. And that is going to be my Tuesday evening project. And then I kind of left Wednesdays, or I guess I planned I could do those like 2 times a week if I want to. This is no hard and fast rule. I mean, I can do whatever I want any day. This was just kind of my plan. And then I've set Thursday as a catch-up day or free day or stitch whatever I want day, or if I'm sick and tired of Christmas day. But I will have a link to their calendars. You can print out any one of them you want. Like I said, I just resized mine to go in my Happy Planner, and then I punched it so that I could kind of keep my guide. So those are the 5 projects I am planning for Christmas in July. Let me flip my planner so I can see what I have next for you guys. Haul. I don't have a ton of haul today, just a little bit. First thing I already talked to you about is the Letters to Santa mystery stitch along that I'm going to participate in. Next, I did buy, so Stitching with the Housewives came out with ribbon, black and white ribbon, and I bought the set. So here is the 4 black and white ribbons. I think these will go with so many things, and I will be using them on finishes. I know I said I don't do a ton of bows on my pillows and things, but for other finishes I will. So I'm super excited. I think my favorite, well, I love the little buffalo check here, but I really, really love this one. I love the little black along the edges. Anyway, beautiful. I bought the whole set of these, and I will link this down below. These are from Fat Quarter Shop, Stitching with the Housewives and Fat Quarter Shop. Next, I got the little Wovens Fat Quarter Bundle from Bonnie and Camille. It's the Christmas bundle. These are all their like little window panes and ginghams and plaids and things. There also is Merry Little Christmas Fat Quarter Bundle that's going to have more motifs and things like this. This is the Wovens. And I only bought the Fat Quarter Bundle of this to do some little things with. I'm planning on, I did buy a pattern when this collection was announced. And I'm planning on doing 2 quilts, one as a gift and one for myself in a lot of the greens. And so I'm excited about that. So when the yardage comes in, I will be purchasing that to do a quilt, but such a cute bundle. You guys know if it's Bonnie and Camille or now just Camille, I'm going to buy it. And then I have 2 new patterns. These were on my wish list. I meant to check before I redid this video, but I didn't. These were on sale at Fat Quarter Shop and they've been on my wish list for quite some time. So I picked them both up. It's the Heart in Hand, Big Hearted Tiny Town and Patriotic Tiny Town. I'm probably not going to have time to do the patriotic chart before, the 4th of July this year, but I'm going to put this on my next year patriotic stitching to do because it is so cute. This is the one that originally I loved. It's obviously the more Valentine's Day Tiny Town. There's a spring and I want to say winter, and I don't like either of them near as much as these. I love this one. It's been on my wish list forever, but it was on sale, so I finally just pulled the trigger and bought it. And of course this one was on sale too, and I loved this one when it came out. So I want to stitch both of these. I think these will both be really quick stitches. And I think I was looking at this. There are classic Colorworks and Weeks Dye Works threads used in these. In fact, here's the Christmas Tiny Town. I think I might like the Christmas Tiny Town if I change the colors a little bit. Sorry about the glare, you guys. Anyway, so I got those as well, and I will link those in the description too. Okay, that's it for cross stitch. I have just a tiny bit of quilting, and then I'm going to announce giveaway winners. So the only thing I worked on this week was the Riley Blake 2022 quilt along. These are free blocks from Riley Blake. I did block number 15, Tilt-A-Whirl. This was such an easy block to put together, and I absolutely love it. Here is my block. All aquas and reds, so pretty. I loved how this one turned out so much. I was really specific with my placement, so you'll notice that these scallops are going down to frame up this middle block, and then these are coming up. And I played around with it thinking, do I want them all to go down? But ultimately I decided I wanted them all to kind of frame up my middle block. So the scallops are going up from the bottom and down from the top, but I didn't want them all going wonky directions. So I was really careful with how I cut and sewed those. That is Tilt-A-Whirl, block 15. And then I also did, and this is probably the reason I didn't get any further, I did block 14, Mosaic Butterfly. I love this block, but it's so many pieces. Look at all the pieces. You can see I had to check mark, highlight, figure out what was what. I did make a change. So the butterfly body kind of goes up into the border here and down into this border, and I personally didn't want to do that. I wanted to just sew borders on the top and the bottom. I didn't want to piece it, so I cut mine. So here is mine version of the Mosaic Butterfly. I absolutely love how it turned out. It's very scrappy. It's scrappier probably than what the little pattern showed, but I like it. And you can see I didn't go up into the border or down into this one. I sewed these two sides. So I sewed 1, 2, 3, 4, these pieces. Then I sewed these two together, sewed them to the middle body of the butterfly, and then I just cut the butterfly even, and then I added my sides and my top and my bottom. But I love it. Red and gray, so pretty scrappy. So I think I only have maybe 1 or 2 blocks left, and then I can do all of the finishing blocks, cut all that, sew the top together, My plan, as I mentioned, I think earlier in this video, is to have a ton of quilting to share with you next week because I have a lot to do. I have a lot laid out. I just haven't got anything else sewed together. All right, giveaway winners, you guys. So I had 4 giveaways last week. I used the random number generator. So this was giveaway number 1, the cross country stitching July-August 1991 edition of this. This was where my flag or my Pledge of Allegiance pillow I made, the pattern comes from. The winner is Jan Ledman, Ledman. I have listed an email address in the description below. Please email me with your mailing address and I will get this out to you. Giveaway number 2 was Stationary Addict by Little Dove Designs. The winner of this is Jennifer Spence. Jennifer, please email me your address again and I will get this mailed out to you. Jennifer, I probably have your address, but I know I have your address. Number 3, Amy Myers, M-Y-E-R-S. Amy won the Shannon Christine Designs Autumn Blessings paper pattern. Please email me to claim your prize. And then giveaway number 4 was a $25 gift certificate to Fat Quarter Shop. That winner is Kim O'Connor. Kim, please email me with the email address that you want me to send that gift certificate to. So I think that's it, you guys. Sorry this is coming to you so late. I'm really irritated. I had to completely refilm it. I'm sure I forgot some stuff because I had to refilm it, but here it is. I appreciate you guys spending some of your time with me. I hope you all get some fun stitching in or quilting or card making, whatever craft lights your heart on fire. I hope you get to spend some time doing that this week. And I will be back Sunday morning, and I promise it will be up Sunday because I'm going to be filming the video Friday. So it will be up in plenty of time for it to go live on Sunday morning. So definitely stay tuned because I will have at least 1, maybe 2 or 3 giveaways in that video. Thank you guys again for spending time with me, and we will see you in the next one. Bye. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel, hit that like button, and don't forget to click the notification bell to always be notified when I have a new Flosstube, quilting, or cross-stitch video. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, and we'll see you next time.